Welcome to the second episode of The Late Night Show. I'm your host, James Ryder. Summer is here. The heat is high, while inhibitions, restaurant staff, and patients on the roads are at an all-time low. Exam halls are packed with occupied chairs, while Comino is finally chair-free. Let's talk about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Late Night Show with your host, James Ryder.
After what seemed like a 3-year wait, summer is finally here. The season we've all been waiting for. The season where the jackets are put away, the flip-flops come out, and Maltese dads can take a break from telling everyone they just wash their car every time it rains. Hitting the ground running, we're already preparing for the first heat wave expected to roll by this weekend. So get ready for a full week of parents, grandparents, and assorted boomers whining non-stop about the heat, after having spent all winter whining non-stop about the cold. Also, be sure to stock up on antiperspirant as you get ready for your next date, while carefully detaching your right testicle or labia from your inner thigh. And what better way to kick off the summer holidays than by taking a beach date to Comino? Comino is, after all, a World Heritage Site, owing to it being the only place on the planet where Coco Jumbo is still played, unironically. To add to its appeal, the island is now officially deck chair free. At least it was on that one day that Movement Graffiti visited and descended on those deck chairs like a pensioner at a Robert Arrigo coffee morning. That bay was emptied out faster than a box of syringes in Marsa. That's right, the pressure group and dreadlock enthusiasts have achieved the impossible, making a positive change while working on their tan. However, after years of complaints and injustice, this seems to have been unnecessary, as Tourism Minister Clayton Bartolo maintained that, coincidentally, MTA officials were just about to go there and address matters on that same day. While we're happy to give him the benefit of the doubt, to us it does look like the equivalent of starting to clean your bedroom after your mom started throwing all your shit out the window. However, Movement Graffiti aren't the only ones bringing a fresh new look to our culture, as Heritage Malta recently unveiled their new logo after a months-long rebranding process. This long-awaited logo was met with some mild skepticism from the public after some noticed that they might have seen the logo elsewhere, mainly on the website for the Hunter Museum of Art. The rebranding package reportedly cost Heritage Malta just over 120,000 euros. This of course seems perfectly legit when you consider that the logo is ever so slightly different from the one that can be bought off Adobe stock for a whopping 63.99 euros. To be fair, this logo choice by local company Brandwagon wasn't their favorite option, and they only resorted to it after their first suggestion, Heritage Malta, was shot down. In the near future, Heritage Malta aims to deliver an even more original rebranding exercise after hiring Strabbuono to design their new cafe and commissioning a new theme song from Aiden. And in the spirit of Heritage Malta, we decided to rebrand our studio with a new logo as well. There we go. Since everyone deserves some summer downtime, the traffic wardens are officially on strike. LESA, the organization we love to hate, has stated that during the strike period, no fines will be issued, and that people who are seen to be breaking the law, such as parking illegally or using their phone while driving, will instead be politely asked to stop. Furthermore, they have announced that unless their demands are met soon, this polite request will be further downgraded to a disappointing look. In a country where traffic laws are rarely followed even when they're fully enforced, where the national credo is "Si nemo id fieri potest vedere, non licet." This has a very real risk of resulting in a traffic version of The Purge, where all motorists do whatever the hell they please, knowing they won't be fined. While we can't imagine what that would look like, you can get a basic idea by taking a look at what Maltese driver got up to while fines were still being enforced. So basically, it'll be a bit worse than this. Nick Ghibli Espresso. To add to the confusion of our legal system, physical contact now seems to be met with harsh reprimand in the court, as a magistrate verbally dressed down a lawyer for greeting another lawyer with a peck on the cheek. The magistrate in question, who may or may not be referred to by her peers behind her back as Jabba the Judge, came under heavy fire from the public after accusing lawyer Janice Katkuti for being a whore for publicly kissing her cousin. The general consensus was that calling someone a whore for a kiss with their own cousin is completely out of order. especially when the term glutton would have been more appropriate. In other news, the Malta General Sex Workers Union have registered a formal complaint at having a lawyer compared to a prostitute. According to them, this comparison between the two is deeply unfair. One of them sells their soul on a daily basis, the other is a prostitute. And finally, the country finds itself in the midst of a massive inflation spike as we see prices creeping up faster than a Christmas tree on Telebech. In a few short years, restaurant prices alone have gone from reasonable to quite pricey to an in-zub-up level of consumer discomfort. While prices are going up, wages in the restaurant industry have taken a hit, according to a recent statement by a highly experienced chef who was offered as little as $3.49 an hour. On the other side, Sean Gravina states that all foreign workers that come to Malta must be adequately qualified in English. But considering what an experienced local chef was getting paid, the only staff we can afford are still abroad as they lack the ability to present their passports at the check-in desk at their local airport. At this point, they should stop serving snails and train them to carry pints of chisk on their shells. Our resident economist came up with a short list of what type of labor local restaurants can afford with what they're willing to pay. Our list is a well-coordinated army of ants, Labradors with trays strapped to their backs, a blind 12-year-old from Albania, the complete cast of every Maltese teleserial ever made, and finally, teachers. That's all the time we have today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out all our socials to stay tuned for our next episode. Ryder out.